Alright lads, today I'm going to be covering the British tech tree in the dev server for the upcoming update of 1.99. You see here we've got quite a few changes. A lot of these, well, the bottom three here you can see, these aren't new, but they've got new stuff added to them. So we have quite a big thing for the British. We're going to start with the Challenger 2 CF. This is a new main battle tank for Britain. You see it's a rank 7 main battle tank located at battle rating 10.3, which I believe it will stay at when it comes to the actual live server. Going to be located after the Challenger 2. This is basically an upgrade package to the Challenger 2. You can see here that we have, well, the base Challenger 2, after you have it fully upgraded, it has the ERA along the side of the hull. With the upgraded version you have it along the hull and on the turret. You also have cage armour at the back and the sides, which is going to protect you from HTFS shells, but whether people are going to thingy that, going to shoot the, at least a lot to be desired. But the composite armour, I think it is the same Remor. It's the same as on the Challenger 1, same 400mm against, same as on the Challenger 2, sorry. It's got 400mm against chemical energy, 30 against kinetic, which is the exact same for this here. So against APF SDS it's not going to do much. You do still get the same great turret and hull protection, well not really the hull protection. Get great hull protection against chemical charges, decent turret protection against APF SDS, but Challenger's got a massive breach here, as well as a massive driver port. Shoot here and everyone's dead, basically. So he's still going to have the meme of... The British armour meme's still dead. You're not going to be able to sit down, or sit behind a position. In my opinion, the best way to balance the Challengers would to be give it its real life round. The L26 is a very old round. Challenger 2's got a lot more modern rounds, which are capable of penetrating a lot more. Give it a round like the Leclerc or the Arietta with like 500, 600mm pen. They could sit at the back of the map and do some damage. It's a meme at the minute, there's no way it should be at 10.3. It shouldn't be facing the Leo 2A5, sorry. Especially not the Stritzwagen 122. But I'm getting a bit sidetracked, sorry. But as you can see, it's got the same stock shell as the other Challenger 2, the L23A1. Pretty awful round in my opinion, 396 a flat, 229 at 60 degrees. It's basically a 9.0 level penetrator. Now the L26, it is better. It's kind of the same type of round as you get on the T80U, the Abrams, the Leo 2A5. Pretty much nothing indistinguishable. Do you get night vision and thermal as you'd expect? Basically a copy and paste Challenger 2 basically, except with this Dorchester 2F pack. Now it does give you a nice skin here. In real life this would give you thermal immunity, or it would significantly reduce your thermal signature. However, I don't think it does in the game. I've not tested it. I can't test it at the minute because I don't have any friends. But as you can see, it does make it look very, very nice. It's quite... Like, I'm not entirely sure how you'd put emblems or stuff on this. Might be a bit dodgy. We'll try that now. I should have really tested this before. Let's get some sexist. Get accused of being a... Oh yeah, you can see that. You cannot put any emblems on it. Which is a bit of a kick in my balls. But there we go. Nice. Get a BuzzFeed article wrote about me about I'm a sexist or something. But like this stuff here, I imagine this is some sort of electronical warfare shit, but it's not modelled in game. I have no idea what that is, so don't take my word for it. But there's nothing really too different about the new Challenger compared to the old Challenger. Kind of have the same armour. It's just a bit more turret protection for your side really. Interestingly enough, you can see here the engine power of 1217. It's the exact same for both Challenger 2s, and the weight is also the same for both Challenger 2s. Now I'm not sure if that is a mistake on Gaijin's end and they've just not done anything about it yet. But as you can see, I imagine this adds quite a few more tons to the weight of the vehicle and it's not been implemented yet. So with that being said, we're going to go into a test drive and I'm going to show you what it can do. Alright, so we're here in a test drive. And straight away you can hear that the Challenger 2's got a nice new meaty engine sound, which I always welcome. But got the same old gun, exact same gun pretty much. The armour values again, apart from the cage armour on the sides here, and then the ERA on the turret side. There's nothing really new about this. You do have this big platform here which kind of looks like a bird table with a few tubes on it. In real life I think that is like antennas and electrical warfare, but you still don't have thermal sights in the commander's view, you only have it in the gunner's sight. And you'll notice that this is only first generation. which I do think is a mistake on Gaijin's end. I think they will have 2nd gen thermal sights when it goes to the live server. But I think this tank will get a nerf to its mobility, which is very hard to say since you don't really know how much more you can nerf it and still be a main battle tank. The Challenger 2 does start to really show its legs. Does look very, very much like an old Chieftain tank, which it was based on. But you got a nice big field of view. Allows you to keep aware of your surroundings. You actually just bounce off a tongue on a shortcut. Like I say, I was very, very hyped for this vehicle. It does look good. I'm excited for it, even just for as a backup in a lineup instead of having just one Challenger 2. So that's good, but it's not going to be groundbreaking. It's not going to change the British tech tree, to be honest. I look forward to using it in Sim. I really like it. I think it's the best looking main battle tank, but it's obviously not the best performing. That being said, there's only a few more things. We do have smoke grenades. We have 10 in total, which fire 5 at a time. It gives you a total of 2 charges. We also have smoke shells. And we do have our good old HESH shell as well, which they have fixed the HESH. You can see there it has 152 mils of penetration at all angles now. It used to be less than more. It used to be less penetration the higher the angle, which was wrong, I believe. But that being said, I am a bit rambling because this is my favourite tank in the game and in real life. So with that being said, we're going to move on to our second vehicle. Alright, going on to our second vehicle, and we can see here we've got the Scimitar F Mark One. This is a rank 6 battle rating 9.3 ground attacker located in the British tech tree, obviously. It's coming after the Sea Venom or the Fleet Arm line in the British tech tree. So make sure you get this line researched. It is a rank 6 vehicle, meaning it will probably be around 390 to 400,000 RP to research, and about probably going to be the same as the line in here, about 1,200,000. This is obviously a half price because it's the dev server. So get saving that silver lines and get a decent premium. Hunter F9, pretty good. But the Scimitar, like pretty much all the other British jets, it's got 4 Aiden 30mm cannons, which is very, very good. In terms of loadouts, it is a ground attacker. So, but you do get some AM9B A4s. AM9Bs obviously are a little bit shite. Whether this thing deserves to be at 9.3, I'm not too sure. I don't think it will be. I'll come on to that in a little bit. But first loadout, 4 £1,000 bombs. That's very, very good. You can destroy a mini base in RB with that. You have the AP Mark II rockets, which are absolutely dog shit. They're basically, these basically here, they have no explosive filler. They rely solely on kinetic energy to penetrate an opponent. Now, unless you're the Orange Doom and you've got aim like a fucking god, then no way in hell you should ever use these. You can take the £1,000 bombs and the AP Mark IIs. Again, big meme. Covered the AM9Bs. Cover them in other videos as well. They're a little bit unreliable. They do have 10 Gs of overload, but you just can't. If your enemy turns even a slight bit, or they roll and turn, it just confuses the missile and they die. Now the real star of the show are the 4 AMG 112B Bullpups. These contain 63 kilograms of TNT. They have 93mm of penetration. Basically, these things will absolutely destroy the tops of vehicles, or if you land near or on. Well, if you land on or near any main battle tank, it should destroy it in one, or heavily crit him. Next, you can take 2 Bullpups and 2 air-to-air missiles, which might give you a nice bounce loadout in a ground realistic battles. I'd still probably go for the 4 Bullpups. And the last option available is the AM9Bs, or 2 AM9Bs and 2 £1,000 bombs. In terms of flight characteristics, as I'll show you when we go into a test drive in a minute, it's a little bit of a sluggish, chunky boy. As you can see, it was kind of got a bit bloated. It's just very, very overweight. It's not the best turner. It's a little bit sluggish. Rate of climb of 102 meters per second, which I'm very, very, very skeptical about, seeing as this plane is not an afterburning engine. So that, I think that's just bollocks, really. I don't know how that's. Like I say, I don't know for a fact. I have test drive it once before. It doesn't seem to be an amazing climber. That puts it better than the Hunter. That's only got 70. What's the Javelin? That's only 30. Well, that's not upgraded, but this seems bollocks. These stat cards, they all seem a little bit bollocks. For the top speed though, it is subsonic, so no more supersonics for the British tech tree. That's why I'm skeptical of it being 9.3. Doesn't really... I don't really know, to be honest. I don't see how the Hunter F1 is 9.0 and this thing's 9.3. It might be a little bit... I'll get a little bit sidetracked, but as I was saying, 9.3 and the Bullpups, basically. That means you don't really have a lineup for 9.3. You could take it into a 9.7 and a 10.3 game as a backup, but you're just going to get destroyed. If you're in a 10.3 game, then you may as well just take along the FGR2. It's got a much better bomb load. Well, yeah, I say bombs are more important really than missiles for the FGR2. But that being said, we're going to go into some gameplay. I'm going to show you what to do. I apologise for rambling. I'm trying to keep these short and sweet. I don't want to waste anyone's time. Like I say, I'll see you in the test drive. So as we're rolling along the runway here, you can see that we have 100% power. We don't have any afterburners at all. It is a little bit of a chunky boy. It is accelerating pretty well, which I find a little bit suspicious. I don't know if it should have this much power in real life. It is very, very powerful in my opinion. It's very, very fast. Accelerating better than a Hunter, but yeah. And this is where we're carrying our 4 Nords. So we're going to go into a nice steep climb. So we're actually accelerating in a 26-degree climb. I think this is a little bit... I don't think the flight model is correct here, lads. This is... I don't think the British actually made anything this good, but... Especially when carrying 4 Nord anti-aircraft missiles. So we're going to make our way over to the vehicle target over here. We get air brakes. We do get air brakes located at the rear. Kind of looks like gills on a fish. The roll rate, as you can see, is a little bit sluggish. We're going to fire our Nords. Don't really need to be precise with this. Oh, I ate shit there because I didn't aim properly. But the turn rate is a little bit sluggish. It almost feels like it's compressing, even at like 80. Now, I'm not entirely sure what this reticle means here. See that it does have a little bit of a problem with its... It's got a problem with the rudder. It just doesn't like to turn on the rudder. But I'm holding down full rudder there, it's doing nothing. So the flight model seems a bit... Yeah, I don't know. It feels like it's compressing or when it's flying. Like very, very heavily. I don't know if that is a new feature with that red circle. Oh well, that was fucking awful. But the 430mm Aidens in the nose. Oh shit. Yeah, so the 430mm Aidens here, located kind of like a Hunter. If you're used to flying the Hunters, then it's going to be no problem. They are mounted down on the below the nose, like on the underbelly, which may make aiming a little bit hard, especially if you're trying to lead targets. You might be shooting under people if you're dead close to you, so just watch out for that. But it seems to be like a pretty decent ground attacker. It's not going to be good in realistic. Like I say, it just feels like it's compressing at all speeds. But apart from that, I'm not going to waste your time flying around. You've all seen jets before. Basically a British FJ4. And we'll move on to the next vehicle. Excuse me, bloody hell, I'm stuttering. We'll move on to the next vehicles. Alright, so the remaining few vehicles, I'm not going to test drive them. I'm just going to show you them. These next 2 tanks, it's the Stuart 1 and the Stuart 3. I don't really think I need to test drive these. I don't think no one wants to see them. They're basically just clones from other tech trees. I've unlocked the APC BT round just to show you. It's got 75mm penetration, 800 meters per second travel time, so it's going to be a decent little shell at low tier. It's rank 1 battle rating 1.3, so 75mm of penetration. You're going to absolutely club everything you see. So Stuart 3 goes up to, well, it's still rank 1, but it's battle rating 2.0. Both of these tanks are located right after each other, so it's they're basically a new stack. They started a new tree basically and put these as the first two. It leads on to the Matilda, but like me, I don't even research that. I've already got everything, but most people are never going to even probably bother researching these. They're not really that useful. They're basically just clones from the American tech tree. I do apologise if I ramble. I'm not really used to doing live commentaries or live discussions, so I get a little bit stuttery in my voice. But the last thing I'm going to cover today is the new missiles for the British tech tree. You can see here on the very sexy looking Australian Sea Fury that these are the Triplex, I believe. Triplex RP. It's basically three RP3 missile rockets boosters tied together. Now these contain 12.7 kilograms of TNT and they have 66mm of penetration. Basically kind of similar to the S-24 rockets in the Soviet tech tree. I'm not going to demo these because I assume that you already know what it's going to be. It's just going to be a rocket with a bit better penetration. Now note that some of these rockets, they're only available on certain planes. So the Sea Fury only has a Triplex. The next missile the next rocket we're going to cover, sorry, is the Uncle Tom. It's only available that I found on the Avenger. It might be available on some other things. I'm not going through every single British plane to check, but the Uncle Tom. So again, it has 11.9 kilograms of TNT for 86mm of penetration. I'm not too sure if these next two have the correct stats because as you can see, you go into the Wyvern. Oh, my bad. And go into the Red Angels. They have the exact same stats. So I don't really see why both of these would have the exact same stats. So this section may be completely redundant, but and you see nice new missiles. I really like the Wyvern. I highly recommend it anyone that wants to do British ground attack. Now the Wyvern only gets the Red Angels and the Avenger only gets the Uncle Toms. So it just adds a little bit more flexibility to the lineup. And Avenger's a nice little premium. Wyvern, definitely get it. Sea Fury, just a brilliant thing in general. Anyway, I know this one's a little bit of a ramble. Great Britain's obviously my main tree, so I'm a little bit more invested in it. Anyway, with that, again, I apologise for rambling, but thank you very much for watching.